that you don't want changed. So this looks at the same column, and it's looking at the exact same row, same column. So in other words, if you're looking at this in Excel, it's looking at the exact same cell. And this time it's asking, is it a flat bar in the description? And if it is, then it says, okay, well then it's going to be size 3. If not, then it's not going to make any change at all. And for completeness for flat bar, let's see, is there a flat bar shape in the assignment? I forget.
Round bar, but not flat bar.
There's no flat bar? Okay. Well, flat bar is another shape that's out there. So, like I said, be careful if you have a for loop and you have the same column, you're doing the same thing to the same column. Kind of follow the logic along just to make sure it doesn't change anything that you don't want. So suppose there is such thing as a flat bar in the assignment, okay?
Well, why don't you change it to round bar? Is the round bar in the assignment, Andrea?
Yes, it's the last part. The shape should be a round bar.
Okay.
Round bar doesn't have a thickness, though. Round bar just has outer diameter. So either way, it's a little confusing.
So did we put the wrong bar on there, Johnny?
No, it's fine. Round bar is fine. I'm just saying round bar doesn't have a thickness, so I can't really use it in this example.
Oh, I see. Okay. But let's just, yeah, I mean, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so just pretend like there's such thing as a flat bar in the assignment. So, like I'm saying, since we have these two things right on top of each other, thickness and thickness, we're making changes to the same cell. We have to be careful that it doesn't do something we don't want. So again, you have to follow the logic. So if you start on the first one, there's two possibilities. It either finds a plate or it doesn't find it. If it doesn't find plate, then it makes no change at all. It makes no change. And if it does find plate, it sets it equal to size 3. So suppose it found a plate and it set it to size 3. Now the thing you want to make sure is that it doesn't change that. So if you go over here, flat bar, now you're not going to find plate and flat bar in the same description. It just isn't going to happen. All right. So we're actually pretty good here. And so it's not, if it is a plate, it's not going to find flat bar, and it's not going to make any changes to what you got as an output for this guy. So it's this line right here is going to leave this line alone. So these two are compatible. They're not going to do anything that you don't want them to do. And I guess that's pretty much it. Yeah, just remember the little curly braces. You got to remember those. That can be easy to forget. But that's pretty much it for a for loop.
Does it make sense?
It'll get there.
And sometimes it's easier to think of this as like a number, like instead of I, just say like 1. You can always kind of test things out like this.
Well, I is the current increment.
Yeah, I is the row. So right now Johnny made it as the first row.
Yeah.
So you're just checking in the first row, but you really, I mean, like I said, sometimes they get files with 30,000 entries, so you cannot go through all the numbers, so you just use I as a placeholder.
Yeah.
And that will read every single row.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah. Yeah, because here I'm just saying that I is just some number.
Yeah.
Like here I just say 1 simply because 1 is easy to type. But it could be 100 or 1,000. The thing is, if you change it to a number, then it can stand alone. It can stand by itself. So this thing doesn't need you know, this I in one in row and the curly braces. It doesn't need all that. This guy, this line A can stand alone. But, you know, if you want to change this to an I, if you want to, you know, do it for like multiple numbers, that's when you have to put it here into a for loop.
So
And again, the syntax here, it says I in one to n row. So in other words, this goes, it starts at 1 and it ends at the very last row. You know, if you have 1,000 rows, it's going to go 1 through 1,000. And it just, the default increment here is 1. It's just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, all the way up to the last row.
yeah, I is an integer, so it's just going to run through
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. So I think what would be the best is I would suggest that you go and try out this code, and then Johnny, I don't know if you just want to copy that and maybe send it over Skype so that we all have the code, and then, you know, try to figure out what this code means, and then, you know, work from there. And then we can meet again on Thursday at 8, and if you have further questions, then we will take it from there. Or questions on this, it doesn't matter. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, there's other ways you can do this too.